Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Medal of Bravery award ceremony this morning. I know there are family members here who will love to get photos, and I would simply say there will be an opportunity for photos at the end of this morning's ceremony, so be patient, and we will ensure you get those important photos with your loved ones. Please rise for the entrance of this year's Medal of Bravery recipients and today's speakers. Thank you, and please be seated. Good morning, Mr. Premier, Mr. Lawrence, my colleagues in the legislature. Great to see so many of you here representing all Nova Scotians. Our honoured guests, Jules Dufour, Kevin Tuff, Bruce Naughton, and Paul Rowe. Elder Companion, thank you for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Minister of Justice, I'm pleased to welcome you to the presentation of the Nova Scotia's Medal of Bravery Awards. And I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are on Mi'kmaq, the traditional territory of the Mi'kmaq people, where in 1604, Grand Chief Membertou greeted Champlain in peace and friendship. I'd now like to invite Elder Marlene Companion to the front to offer a prayer and traditional smudging ceremony. This will be followed by the singing of O Canada, led by Lana Grant and Nola Hoban, a member of the Halifax Boys Honour Choir.
Kwe, Jigalasi, hello and welcome. Today we're here to honor our brothers with a prayer from my heart. If you would care to stand. Great Spirit, we come before you in a humble manner to give thanks. We give thanks to our brothers who have shown extreme bravery. We pray to you that you guide them and you take care of them. We pray for our brothers and our sisters and all of our family relations. In particular, we pray for Mother Earth, that she continues to provide for us all the things that we need in order to survive. We pray for our water, our air. Great Spirit, we ask that we humbly ask for your blessing, that we may walk in a good way. Great Spirit, we say these words with open minds, open hearts, with much love to you on this day. Amen.
Lana and Nolan.
Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all our sons command. Quand on bronze porter le pays, il sait porter la gloire. Ton histoire est une
l'épopée des plus brillants exploits.
God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please be seated. This is the 11th year that we have formally celebrated and honored our Nova Scotia heroes with the Medal of Bravery. In my second year as Justice Minister, being given the privilege to personally recognize medal recipients. In my former career as a law enforcement officer, I was trained to protect Nova Scotians, and it was my job to help ensure communities were safe, like my colleague here in uniform. We signed up for that. I've also had the honor, both in my years of policing and in my capacity as the Minister of Justice, to recognize our first responders for their heroic actions. But what makes this recognition so much more deserving, and what amazes and inspires me even more, is that these brave gentlemen in front of us did not sign up for that. They did not sign up to be first responders, but it is exactly what they did. Without hesitation, they put their own lives in danger to save others. They instinctively jumped into action, and in doing so, were able to prevent what would surely have been more tragic circumstances. Mr. Dufour, Mr. Tuff, Deputy Sheriff Nocton, and Mr. Rowe are some of our province's most courageous and selfless individuals. And they wholeheartedly deserve our gratitude and recognition today. I'd like to thank Mr. Hugh Lawrence and the Medal of Bravery Advisory Committee for their work in what I'm sure was a very difficult process. While we honor today's recipients, we also recognize the many others who showed courage in the face of crisis. And now we will honor and recognize the heroic acts of today's Medals of Bravery recipients. And we'll continue to the formal presentations. I'll give you a little bit of an overview of each of the circumstances. On the morning of March the 7th, 2018, Jules Dufour and Kevin Tuff happened upon a car engulfed in flames which were quickly spreading to the attached home, the carport and the home. And the two men, who didn't know each other at the time, worked to break down the door of the burning home. They split up within the home to search for occupants. They located a young man who was asleep downstairs. Mr. Tuff guided the young man out of the basement while Mr. Dufour continued to search the upper level, where two pets, a dog and a cat, were also removed from the burning home. Without the actions of Mr. Dufour and Mr. Tuff, the young man and two pets would have likely perished in the fire. Mr. Jules Dufour and Mr. Kevin Tuff, please come forward to accept the Medal of Bravery. Deputy Sheriff Bruce Naughton and his partner Samantha Martin were traveling along Highway 102 in the early evening of October the 12th, 2017, when they came upon a head-on collision. One of the vehicles was on fire. Mr. Naughton and Miss Martin secured the accident scene, and Mr. Naughton, using the fire extinguisher in their transport vehicle, attempted to put out the fire. He directed bystanders to get more extinguishers from a nearby gas station, and he then climbed into the burning car and stabilized the lone occupant who was unconscious. The bystanders returned and the fire was extinguished, but smoke filled the vehicle. Mr. Naughton remained with the victim in those very difficult circumstances, ensuring she was stabilized until emergency responders arrived. His quick actions helped prevent a fatal accident. Mr. Naughton, please come forward to accept the Medal of Bravery. Paul Rowe was at home watching television on the evening of November the 3rd, 2017, when he heard a loud noise. He looked outside and discovered that a car had plunged into the ocean across the street from his home. Without hesitation, Mr. Rowe ran to the accident scene and entered the water to help the driver, who was able to unlock the doors. Mr. Rowe had seen a child's car seat in the back and immediately returned to the vehicle after helping the driver to shore. He searched the now submerged vehicle and confirmed there were no other occupants. Without any consideration for his personal safety, Mr. Rowe, who had recently been diagnosed with heart problems, selflessly helped the driver of the vehicle that was sinking in the cold ocean water. Mr. Rowe, please come forward to accept the Medal of Bravery. May I ask our recipients to rise, please? Ladies and gentlemen, the recipients of the Nova Scotia Medal of Bravery for 2018. I would now ask, please be seated, yes. I would now ask the Honourable Stephen Mcneil, Premier of Nova Scotia, to say a few words.
Thank you, Minister. Welcome, everyone, to Province House. This is a beautiful show of what Nova Scotia has to offer. Gary and Tim, it's wonderful to see you here, but there's no room under that tree if you guys leave me a gift. I want to welcome all of you to this wonderful day of celebration of extraordinary Nova Scotians. It always amazes me when I get a chance to participate in these events, what Nova Scotians do, selfless acts of bravery on behalf of their fellow citizens. And it's easy for us in this room to say that's what people will do, but I always ask myself, how would I respond? How would I have responded if it had been that day going by with that burning house and you two gentlemen, not knowing each other, decided to venture into that house to ensure that that young man and those pets found their way out of that house. So Jules and Kevin, on behalf of the province of Nova Scotia, let me say thank you for your tremendous work. Witnessing a crash on the 102, coming down that highway, seeing it, not only did you come upon it, but you actually witnessed the accident, stopping and ensuring that that woman found her way out of that vehicle, ensuring that that fire was put out, securing the scene. One of the things that wasn't described, he and his colleagues, sounds simple, cut the battery cables to the battery to ensure that that car didn't continue to burn. And at the very same time, crawling into the vehicle to ensure that that victim was being comforted. How many of us wouldn't want that for our own loved ones? And he did that, Bruce, you did that on that day. Thank you on behalf of Nova Scotians. And Paul, not only did you go into the water once, you went back twice. I can't imagine the feeling you must have felt when that young woman was coming out of that car, about going back and seeing that baby seat in the back seat of that car. As a father, it puts a lump into my throat, quite frankly, but your heroic action, and as we described downstairs, Paul felt his way in and around that car and didn't see a child, but he wasn't certain until that car was taken out of the water to ensure that there was no child in there. So Paul, thank you for your bravery on that particular day and answering the call for all four of you, answering the call of your fellow Nova Scotians. Let me say thank you. And this is a very small way for us to be able to recognize you, is providing you with the Medal of Bravery. For those of you who haven't seen the medal before, as Minister Fury said, this is our 11th year, but the medal is silver, which symbolizes peace and sincerity. The lion rampant represents a dauntless courage that these gentlemen have shown. The waving banner symbolizes the sea in celebration, the sea that surrounds us and that Paul knows all too well. The laurel leaves are the peace and triumph, and the award's Blue Valor presentation case symbolizes truth and loyalty. The work that went into that medal and the presentation of that medal to prepare it for the first year and for every year since represents what these gentlemen had done at each of the nights and each of the events that they were called to be part of. I want to say thank you to the advisory board, Hugh and your team, for your continued commitment. I know there were a number of other Nova Scotians who were being recognized. I encourage citizens across this province to ensure that when these selfless acts happen in your neighborhood and in your communities, that you put in the effort to allow us to recognize them and tell their story. And to the family members of these four gentlemen who are standing in front of us, thank you for letting us celebrate your loved ones, for letting us recognize what you already know. These are fine gentlemen standing before us with great courage. Thank you all for being here and being part of this celebration.
Thank you, Premier. I'd now like to call Mr. Lawrence, Chair of the Medal of Bravery Advisory Committee, to come forward and say a few words.
Mr. Premier, Minister Fury, pardon me, my voice isn't very good. Members of the legislature, medal recipients, and members of your families, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to be here this morning to honor Jules Dufour, Kevin Tuff, Bruce Naughton, and Paul Rowe, who have received this year's Nova Scotia's prestigious Medal of Bravery. It is my privilege to be the chair of the Medal of Bravery Advisory Committee, and thereby I have the honor of meeting these folks as I have for the last number of years. Each year, the committee is faced with a difficult task of reviewing the submissions against the criteria of the medal and then determine who should receive it. It's not an easy job. If I were to liken the job of the committee to overturning pebbles on a beach, I think I could say that they leave no stone unturned as they go through their deliberations in trying to determine who should receive this medal. Many of the stories we hear are worthy of recognition. And however, this year, a few really stand out. and in the view of the committee, these are the people that we felt should be honored this year. I don't know how we would react if we were in a similar situation, where lives are on the line and the consequences could be quite grave. Fortunately, few of us are ever in that position. The individuals we recognize today did take action in a very difficult situation and probably a life-threatening situation. Because of their action, a life was saved. They acted selflessly and courageously to save the life of another. To them, the person was a stranger, but to the family and the friends who were saved from heartbreak, that person was a friend, a daughter, a son, or a neighbor. To our medal recipients, we applaud you again. Congratulations. On behalf of the advisory committee members, I thank you all individuals who took time to nominate a fellow Nova Scotian for the Medal of Bravery. Without you, we would never have learned of these acts. All of the individuals who are nominated for this medal have demonstrated a level of courage. And I would like to recognize all of you. As we learned about your stories, we were all inspired and humbled. A day like today requires a lot of planning and coordination. And it would not have been possible without the staff members. And to Nadia, where did Becky go? And Exie, thank you. I think the applause tells us what a wonderful job you've done. Lastly, I'd like to thank today's medal recipients and congratulate them again for their acts of selfless courage. You are truly heroes in Nova Scotia and an inspiration to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to call upon Lana Grant again, who will perform an original song. Lana, please come forward.
Congratulations. There we are. Congratulations. When I was asked to do this event today, they said, well, what song would you like to sing? And I said, well, I think this service deserves its own special song. So thanks to my partner in music, Chris Ionetti, and myself, we came up with Hero Without a Cape.
What does it mean to be brave? To make the choice to save another. What does it mean to be brave? To stand up and not run away. On any given day, a life needs to be saved. Does it mean to be brave? It's not a name, a place, or a name. Does it mean to be brave? There is no start or ending day. When it comes your way, you can stay or walk away, 'cause that's what's asked of you today. In a world littered with pain, you chose sunshine over rain, became a hero without a cape. What does it mean to be brave? To look the devil in the face and not say. The choice of what to do, it all comes down to you, 'cause that's what's asked of you today. In a world littered with pain, you chose sunshine over rain, became a hero without a cape, 'cause that's what's asked of you today. In a world littered with pain, you choose to stay, not walk away, became a hero without a cape, a hero without a cape.
Thank you, Lana. A little bit of Lana's background. She's the daughter of a retired police officer and an integral part of the Halifax Regional Police family and community. And we are so blessed on so many occasions where Lana offers us the gift of her voice at events such like this. Lana, thank you very much for your talent and your contribution. This concludes the official ceremony for the Medal of Bravery. Jules Dufour, Kevin Tuff, Bruce Naughton, and Paul Rowe, allow me again to thank you on behalf of government, all of my colleagues in the legislature, and all Nova Scotians for your bravery and your actions. I invite everyone to stay and enjoy the reception downstairs in the foyer, where you'll have the opportunity to meet and greet our recipients of the Medal of Bravery, and family members certainly have the personal opportunity for those special photographs. We'll take a few minutes here to arrange for the formal and official photo of the recipients, the Premier, and the Chair. And the official photographer will take the first set of photos, and our recipients and the Premier and the Chair will remain so family members can come forward and get your official photos of the official group and recipients. So again, thank you very much, and we look forward to chatting downstairs.